Master Your Mind. Stoic Secrets to a Stronger Life. The Hidden Force Shaping Your Life. What if I told you that the most powerful force in your life isn't your bank account, your talents, or even the opportunities that come knocking? It's not the job you land, the car you drive, or the likes you rack up online. It's something quieter, something deeper, something you carry with you every single day, tucked away in the corners of your being. It's your mind. Your thoughts have this incredible, almost magical ability to lift you to new heights, to spark courage and clarity, or to drag you into the shadows, weighing you down with doubt and fear. They shape every choice you make, every moment you live, every step you take on this wild journey called life. Sounds like a bold claim, doesn't it? But what if mastering your mind could unlock a life brimming with resilience, purpose, and an unshakable strength that no storm can rattle? Today, we re-diving headfirst into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, not as some dusty philosophy reserved for bearded scholars in togas, but as a practical, down-to-earth guide to building mental toughness in our chaotic modern world. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced plagues and wars, and Epictetus, a former slave who turned hardship into insight, didn't just ponder big ideas, they lived them. They wrestled with the same human struggles we do: stress, loss, uncertainty. Yet they found a way to stay steady, to keep their inner fire burning, by taking control of their thoughts. Their secrets aren't locked away in history books. They tools you can pick up right now, whether you're pushing through a rough day, untangling a personal crisis, or just searching for a clearer path forward. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a warm mug of coffee or tea, and let's explore how to harness the power of your mind. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll have a game plan to transform how you face life's ups and downs. Let's jump in. Picture this. You wake up to a flood of notifications, work emails piling up, news headlines shouting doom, social media buzzing with everyone else's highlight reel. It's overwhelming, like standing in the middle of a storm with no umbrella. Your mind starts racing. I'm behind. I'm not enough. What if I mess this up? That's your thoughts taking the wheel, steering you toward anxiety before you've even had breakfast. But what if you could pause, take a breath, and choose a different thought? What if you could say, I'll handle what I can, one step at a time? That's the Stoic way. Recognizing that while you can't control the storm, you can control how you navigate it. Stoicism teaches that your mind is like a fortress, a place where you're the gatekeeper. Life will throw all kinds of chaos your way, missed deadlines, arguments, unexpected setbacks, but you get to decide which thoughts get a front row seat and which get shown the door. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing clarity over chaos, courage over fear, action over despair. Marcus Aurelius, scribbling in his journal amidst the pressures of ruling an empire, reminded himself to focus on what he could control: his actions, his attitude, his integrity. Epictetus, who had every reason to feel powerless, declared that true freedom comes from mastering your inner world. This isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a lifeline for today. Whether you're staring down a tough work week, grappling with a personal loss, or just feeling the weight of a noisy world, Stoicism offers a way to stay grounded. It's like a mental compass, pointing you back to what matters when everything's spinning. By the end of our journey, you'll have practical tools to build that mental strength, to face life's challenges with a steady heart, and to live with a purpose that feels true to you. So, let's keep going. Your mind's waiting to show you what it can do. The power of your thoughts. Let us kick things off with a mind-blowing fact. Your brain pumps out about 70,000 thoughts every single day. That's a relentless storm of mental chatter, buzzing like a beehive from the second your eyes flutter open to the moment your head sinks into the pillow. And here's the real twist. Those thoughts aren't just harmless background noise like elevator music you can tune out. They're like tiny architects, tirelessly sketching the blueprint of your life. They shape your emotions, guide your decisions, and bit by bit, carve out the path you walk. One stray thought in the morning, like, ugh, today's gonna be awful, can spark a chain reaction, souring your mood, fogging your choices, and turning a perfectly decent day into a slog that feels like wading through mud. The Stoics, those wise souls from ancient Rome and Greece, understood this better than anyone. They had a knack for cutting through life S-noise to get to the heart of what matters. Their big insight? It's not the stuff happening around you, your boss firing off a snarky email, a heated argument with a friend, or even a global crisis shaking the world, that steals your peace. It's your judgments about those things, the stories you spin in your head. Picture this. You're rushing to a big meeting, and you spill coffee all over your crisp white shirt. The spill itself, it's just a fact, neutral as a blank page, neither good nor bad. But if your mind leaps to, I'm such a klutz, I'm going to bomb this presentation, you're the one pouring stress and panic into the moment. The Stoics would say, hold up, you've got the power to rewrite that story. Instead of spiraling, you could think, okay, accidents happen. I'll clean up, take a breath, and bring my A game anyway. That shift doesn't erase the coffee stain, but it transforms you, from frazzled to focused, from victim to victor. This idea is like stumbling onto a mental superpower. By choosing your thoughts, you're not just reacting to the world. You're shaping how you experience it, like an artist choosing colors for a canvas. It's not about slapping on a fake smile or pretending life's all sunshine and rainbows. The Stoics weren't into denial. They were realists, facing life's mess head-on. It's about seeing the world clearly, grounding your thoughts in what's true, and deciding how you'll let them steer your actions. They called this building an inner citadel, a fortress in your mind where you are the undisputed boss. Outside those walls, life can be a whirlwind. People say thoughtless things, plans crumble, chaos reigns. But inside your citadel, you're in charge. You decide which thoughts get a seat at the table and which get sent packing. Let's bring this home with an example. Say you're stuck in traffic, late for an appointment, and your mind starts churning. This always happens, I'm going to mess everything up. That's a thought knocking at your citadel's gate, trying to storm in and take over. Instead of letting it barge through, pause. Ask, is this thought helping me? You can't unclog the traffic, but you can choose to stay calm, maybe call ahead to explain, or use the time to think through your day. That choice keeps you steady, turning a frustrating moment into one you control. It's like locking the gate against negativity and opening a window to clarity. This mental fortress isn't built overnight. It takes practice. Your mind's a busy place with thoughts clamoring for attention like a crowded market. But the Stoics believed that by training yourself to filter those thoughts, you cultivate a strength that's unshakable. It's like tending a garden. You pull the weeds of doubt and fear, nurture the seeds of courage and reason, and watch your inner world flourish. This is where mental strength begins, the foundation for tackling life's challenges with a clear head and a steady heart. So, let's keep exploring how to make this Stoic wisdom work for you, because your mind's ready to show you what it can do. The inner citadel, your mental fortress. Let's dive deeper into this inner citadel idea, because it's an absolute game changer. Picture your mind as a walled city, towering and secure, with sturdy stone walls that stand firm against the chaos of the world. Outside those walls, life does what it does. Traffic jams snarl your commute. Bad news floods your phone. Coworkers push your buttons with their endless gripes. Those are the events of life, the raw material of your days, and you can't always control them. They're like the weather, unpredictable and beyond your reach. But inside the citadel, that's your kingdom, your sanctuary. You're the gatekeeper, deciding which thoughts get to stroll through the gates and which get turned away. A negative thought, like, I am not good enough, or I always screw this up, might come knocking, loud and insistent. But you don't have to roll out the red carpet and let it take over. You can challenge it, Look it in the eye and ask, is that really true? Is this thought helping me? If it's not serving you, you send it packing, no questions asked. This mental discipline is the heart and soul of what the Stoics were all about. They weren't chasing some emotionless robotic existence, shutting out feelings like a locked vault. Far from it. They were deeply human, wrestling with the full mess of emotions we all know. Anger that burns hot, fear that grips tight, grief that weighs heavy. But they refused to let those feelings call the shots. Take Epictetus, a man who started life as a slave, enduring hardships most of us can't even imagine. Yet he rose to become one of history's greatest philosophers, teaching that true freedom isn't about escaping external chains, it's about controlling your inner world. Someone hurls an insult your way? That's their action, their choice, not your burden. You get to decide whether to let it pierce your peace or to shrug it off, like an arrow glancing off a shield. That's your emotional armor, deflecting the stuff that doesn't deserve your energy and keeping you focused on what matters. Let's see how this plays out in real life, because this isn't just lofty theory. It's practical, everyday stuff. Imagine you're stuck in a long line at the grocery store, and you're already running late for dinner plans. The situation's frustrating, no doubt about it. Your first thought might be, "This always happens to me. What a complete waste of time." That's a thought banging on your citadel's gate, trying to storm in and ruin your mood. Instead of swinging the gate wide open, take a beat. Ask yourself, what's in my control here? You can't magic the line away or make the cashier move faster, but you can choose how to use this moment. Maybe you take a few deep breaths, letting the tension melt from your shoulders. Maybe you plan your evening, mentally ticking off your to-do list. Or maybe you just notice the world around you, the hum of conversation, the bright colors of the produce aisle. By choosing your response, you're not just surviving the wait. You're owning the moment, steering it with purpose. That's your inner citadel at work, keeping you steady no matter what's swirling outside. This practice isn't easy, I'll be honest. Your mind's like a bustling city gate, with thoughts clamoring to get in all day long, each one vying for your attention like a street vendor shouting their wares. Some are helpful, some are destructive, and most are just noise. Filtering them takes effort, like learning to play an instrument or training for a race. But the Stoics believed that the more you practice, the stronger your mental fortress becomes. It's like working a muscle. Each time you catch a negative thought, question it, and redirect it to something useful. You get better at staying calm, focused, and in control. You start to notice patterns, like how certain thoughts pop up when you're stressed, and you get quicker at shutting them down. That strength, that mental clarity, is what sets you up to tackle one of life's biggest tests: adversity. Because when the world throws its toughest challenges your way, your inner citadel is the foundation that keeps you standing tall. Embracing adversity, turning obstacles into opportunities. Life loves to throw curveballs, doesn't it? 1 minute, you're cruising along, plans neatly in place, and the next, bam. A job loss knocks the wind out of you. A health scare sends your heart racing, or a relationship hits rocky ground, leaving you reeling. Adversity shows up like an uninvited guest, kicking down the door without a care for your schedule. Most of us, when we hit a rough patch, feel that gut instinct to pull back, to wish it away, to slump into a chair and mutter, "Why me?" It's human to want to dodge the pain, to dream of a life where things just go smoothly. But the Stoics, they had a different take. They didn't just tolerate adversity, they embraced it, like a wrestler stepping into the ring, muscles tensed, ready to grapple and come out stronger. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who juggled everything from devastating plagues to political betrayals, dropped a piece of wisdom that's pure gold. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that sink in for a moment. He's not saying obstacles are just hurdles to clear. He's saying they are the path itself. That thing blocking your way? It's not a dead end. It's a doorway to growth, a chance to stretch your limits and discover what you're made of. A professional setback, like missing out on a promotion, isn't just a slap in the face. It's an invitation to reassess your goals, pick up new skills, or pivot to a path that sets your soul on fire. A tough conversation with a friend, the kind that leaves you raw? It's an opportunity to practice patience, to listen with your whole heart, to forge a bond that's deeper and truer. In Stoic eyes, adversity is a classroom, and every challenge is a lesson waiting to be learned, a chance to sharpen the tools of your character. Let's make this real with an example. Imagine you've poured your heart into your work, staying late, nailing projects, only to be passed over for a promotion you were sure was yours. It stings, like a punch you didn't see coming. The temptation is to wallow, to let frustration bubble up into bitterness, to point fingers at the world for being unfair. But a Stoic would take a different approach. They'd pause, take a deep breath, and ask, "What can this teach me?" Maybe it's a nudge to sit down with your boss for an honest talk, to understand what skills you need to level up. Maybe it's a sign to explore a new career path, one that aligns more with what makes you come alive. Or maybe it's simply a chance to practice resilience, to keep showing up with integrity, to prove to yourself that a setback doesn't define you. By reframing the disappointment as a teacher, you're not just surviving the moment. You're using it to grow, to build a version of yourself that's tougher, wiser, and more focused. This mindset doesn't mean you pretend tough times don't hurt. The Stoics weren't about faking it or plastering on a smile while the world burned. They felt the full weight of life's struggles, loss that cuts deep, fear that claws at your chest, grief that lingers like a shadow. But they chose to focus on what they could do with it. Every challenge, they believed, is a test of your virtues. Courage to face the unknown, patience to endure the weight, wisdom to find the lesson. It's like lifting weights. The resistance, the struggle, is what builds your strength. You don't get stronger by wishing the weights were lighter. You grow by lifting them, again and again. By embracing adversity, you're not just scraping by. You're sculpting a better, tougher version of yourself, one that can weather any storm. This Stoic approach is like a mental shift that turns obstacles into stepping stones. It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending you're invincible. It's about seeing the opportunity in the struggle, the growth hidden in the hardship. And that strength, that ability to turn life's punches into progress, comes from a key Stoic practice: self-discipline. Because to embrace adversity, you need the mental muscle to stay focused, to choose your response, and to keep moving forward, no matter what. The art of self-discipline: living your values. If there is one thing the Stoics drove home with the force of a hammer striking an anvil, it's that a good life hinges on self-discipline. Not the kind that feels like a grim punishment, like choking down kale when you'd rather have pizza, but the kind that lights up your path, aligning your actions with your deepest values. It's about making choices that serve the person you want to become, even when it's tough, even when the world's dangling shiny distractions in front of you, tempting you to take the easy road. Self-discipline is the quiet strength that says, "I'm choosing what matters, not what's convenient." Think of your day as a series of crossroads, each one a tiny fork in the road where you decide who you're going to be. Hit the snooze button or drag yourself out of bed for that morning workout. Scroll through your phone, chasing likes and memes, or buckle down to tackle that project you've been dodging. Snap at someone who's gotten under your skin, or take a deep breath and respond with kindness. Self-discipline is about picking the path that's harder in the moment, but richer in the long run. It's saying no to fleeting pleasures or knee-jerk reactions, and yes to what moves you closer to your goals. The Stoics saw this as the bedrock of a life with purpose, where your actions aren't just random. They're a reflection of who you are at your core, a living portrait of your values. Epictetus, a man who rose from the chains of slavery to become a revered philosopher, was a master of this idea. He taught that self-mastery, Control over your reactions, desires, and impulses is the key to true freedom. Life might throw all kinds of chaos your way, a rude comment, a missed deadline, an unexpected bill, but you get to decide how you handle it. Let's make it real. Say you're trying to eat healthier, and you walk into the office break room to find a tray of donuts, their sugary glaze practically singing your name. Self-discipline isn't just about white-knuckling your way past the temptation. It's about pausing to remind yourself why you're remaking this choice, because you value your health, because you want to feel strong, energized, and clear-headed. That why is your anchor, a steady tether keeping you grounded when the pull of instant gratification tugs hard. This isn't just about the big, dramatic decisions. The Stoics believed that small choices matter just as much, maybe even more, because they weave the threads that weave the fabric of your life. Every time you choose to get up early, even when your bed feels like a warm hug, you're building a habit of commitment. Every time you focus on a task instead of checking your phone for the 10th time, you're sharpening your focus. Every time you bite your tongue instead of firing off a snarky comeback, you're cultivating patience. These moments are like reps at the gym, strengthening your willpower with each deliberate choice, and it's not just about actions. Your thoughts need discipline, too. Catch yourself spiraling into worry about something you can't control, like what someone thinks of you or how a situation might unfold. Redirect your mind to what you can do. Maybe it's doing your best work, reaching out with kindness, or simply letting go of what's not yours to carry. That's self-discipline in action, sculpting a mind that's calm, focused, and fiercely loyal to your values. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're working toward a goal, like learning a new skill for your career. The easy road is to coast. Watch another episode, tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. But self-discipline is choosing to spend an hour studying, even when you're tired, because you know it's a step toward the life you want. Each choice is a brick, building a foundation that's solid and true. The Stoics, like Epictetus, saw this as liberation, freedom from being yanked around by whims or circumstances. It's about living intentionally, where every small act, every disciplined thought shapes a life that feels authentic and purposeful. And that's the Stoic secret. Self-discipline isn't a burden. It's the key to unlocking a life that's not just lived, but crafted with care. Vision beyond circumstance, seeing the bigger picture. Here's where Stoicism gets visionary, literally. The Stoics believed in cultivating a vision that stretches far beyond the mess of your current circumstances, a crystal-clear picture of who you want to be and what you want to achieve no matter what chaos is swirling around you. It's like having a North Star, a steady, glowing point in the sky that guides you through life. As wild as storms, when everything else feels shaky and uncertain. This vision isn't some fleeting daydream or a wish scribbled on a napkin. It is a lifeline, a compass, a map you draw with intention to keep you moving toward a life that feels true. This Stoic vision isn't a vague, fluffy hope like, I just want to be happy, or I want it all to work out. It's specific, deeply rooted in your values, and anchored in what you can control. Maybe it's about becoming someone who faces every challenge with unyielding courage, who builds relationships that are strong and authentic, or who creates something meaningful, a piece of art, a thriving business, a legacy of kindness. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, used virtues as their guideposts, wisdom to navigate life's complexities, justice to treat others fairly, courage to stand firm, and moderation to keep balance. For you, it might translate into personal benchmarks that light you up, a career that aligns with your passions, a lifestyle that keeps you healthy and vibrant, or a family life filled with love, trust, and shared laughter. Whatever it is, it asks about knowing your why, the heartbeat of your purpose, and keeping your eyes locked on it, even when life throws obstacles in your path. Let's make this real. Imagine you're stuck in a job that drains you dry. The daily grind feels like a cage, each day a repeat of the last, sapping your energy and dimming your spark. It's easy to lose sight of your bigger goals, to let the monotony blur your dreams into the background. A Stoic approach would start with clarity. What's your vision? Maybe you dream of shifting to a career that feels fulfilling, like teaching, where you inspire young minds, or starting your own business, turning a passion into a livelihood. That vision becomes your compass, a steady guide through the fog. You can't quit your job today, bills don't pay themselves, but you can take small, deliberate steps. Research new career paths after dinner. Sign up for an online course to build skills, or squirrel away a little money each month for your future venture. Each action, no matter how tiny, is a thread connecting you to your goal, giving even the toughest days a pulse of purpose. Suddenly, that soul-crushing job isn't just a slog, it's a stepping stone, a means to fuel your journey. This vision-driven life takes two key ingredients: clarity and commitment. Clarity means knowing exactly what you're aiming for and why it matters to you. It's sitting down with yourself, maybe with a coffee and a notebook, and asking, what do I want my life to stand for? What kind of person do I want to be? It's defining your North Star so vividly you can see it even on the cloudiest nights. Commitment, though, is where the rubber meets the road. It's sticking to your vision when distractions, like endless social media scrolls or that nagging voice of doubt, try to pull you off course. It's choosing to spend an hour working toward your goal instead of binge-watching a show, not because you're a saint, but because you know where you're headed. Commitment is the grit that keeps you moving, one step at a time, even when the path feels long. And let's be honest, pursuing a vision often means standing alone, at least for a while. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, faced their share of skeptics and critics who didn't get their focus on virtue over fame or wealth. They stayed true to their principles anyway, unwavering in their inner resolve. You might face pushback, too. Friends who roll their eyes at your goals, family who think you're chasing a pipe dream, or a world that pressures you to follow the crowd, to settle for what's safe and easy. That's where your inner citadel, that mental fortress we talked about, comes roaring back in. It's your stronghold, keeping you focused on your path, shielding you from the noise and doubt. When the world tries to sway you, your citadel reminds you, this is my vision. This is my why. It's like an internal lighthouse, cutting through the fog of criticism and distraction, guiding you back to your true course. This Stoic vision isn't just about reaching some far-off destination. It is about how you live each day, every step toward your goal. Every choice that aligns with your values adds meaning to the present moment. It turns mundane tasks, like saving a few bucks or studying late, into pieces of a larger puzzle, a life you're building with intention. And that's the Stoic magic. A vision beyond circumstance doesn't just help you endure life's storms. It helps you navigate them with purpose, turning every challenge into a chance to grow closer to the person you're meant to be. Overcoming challenges. Resilience in action. Now let's talk about putting all this together to face life's challenges head-on. The Stoics didn't just survive tough times, they thrived in them, seeing every obstacle as a chance to grow stronger. They believed challenges test your virtues, like a fire tempering steel, and how you respond shapes who you become. Start by reframing how you see challenges. Instead of viewing a setback, like a failed project or a personal conflict, as a dead end, see it as a test. Ask, what virtues can I practice here? If you're dealing with a difficult coworker, it's a chance to flex patience and understanding. If you're facing a financial crunch, it's an opportunity to practice wisdom, maybe by budgeting smarter or finding creative solutions. This mindset turns challenges into training grounds, where you hone your mental and emotional strength. Take a practical example. Let's say you're preparing for a big presentation, but you're nervous and self-doubt's creeping in. Instead of letting those thoughts run wild, pause and reflect like a Stoic would. You can't control how the audience reacts, but you can control your preparation and delivery. So, you practice, refine your slides, and focus on sharing your ideas clearly. If the presentation doesn't go perfectly, you don't spiral. You ask, "What did I learn?" Maybe you need to work on public speaking or clarify your points next time. That's resilience. Not just bouncing back, but growing stronger through the experience. The Stoics also leaned on past victories to fuel their resilience. Think about a time you overcame something tough, maybe a breakup, a work crisis, or a personal fear. You made it through, didn't you? That's proof you've got grit. When a new challenge hits, remind yourself of that strength. Picture yourself handling the situation with calm and confidence. Then take one step to make it real, whether it's researching a solution, asking for help, or just refusing to give up. Each action builds your resilience, like adding layers to a shield. Building a resilient life. Practical Stoic habits. Let's talk about pulling all these Stoic ideas together to face life's challenges head-on, because this is where the rubber meets the road. The Stoics weren't just about surviving tough times. They thrived in them, turning every obstacle into a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded. They saw challenges as a forge, like a fire tempering steel, testing your virtues and shaping the person you become. How you respond to life. Curveballs doesn't it just get you through the moment? It defines your character, carving out the story of who you are. The first step is to reframe how you see challenges. Instead of viewing a setback, like a failed project, a personal conflict, or a missed opportunity, as a dead end that screams game over, flip the script. See it as a test, a chance to stretch your mental and emotional muscles. Ask yourself, what virtues can I practice here? If you're dealing with a difficult coworker who grates on your nerves, it's not just a headache. It's a golden opportunity to flex patience and understanding, to listen before you react. If you're staring down a financial crunch, with bills piling up faster than you can handle, it's a call to practice wisdom, maybe by budgeting smarter, cutting unnecessary expenses, or brainstorming creative ways to boost your income. This mindset transforms challenges into training grounds, where every struggle hones your strength, sharpens your focus, and builds a resilience that nothing can shake. Let's ground this in a practical example. Imagine you're gearing up for a big presentation at work, one that could open doors for your career. But as the day approaches, nerves kick in, and self-doubt starts creeping, whispering, "You're not ready, you're gonna flop." It's tempting to let those thoughts run wild, to imagine every worst-case scenario until you're a bundle of anxiety. But a Stoic would hit pause and reflect. You can control how the audience reacts, whether they nod along or stare blankly, but you can control your preparation and delivery. So, you double down. You practice your lines until they flow, refine your slides until they're crisp, and focus on sharing your ideas with clarity and passion. If the presentation doesn't go perfectly, maybe you stumble over a word or get a tough question, you don't spiral into, "I am a failure." Instead, you ask, "What did I learn?" Maybe you need to brush up on public speaking or structure your points more clearly next time. That's resilience in action. Not just bouncing back from a stumble, but using it to grow stronger, to step into the next challenge with more skill and confidence. The Stoics had another trick up their sleeves. They leaned on past victories to fuel their resilience. Think about a time you overcame something tough, a breakup that left you raw, a work crisis that tested your limits, or a personal fear you faced head-on, like speaking up when you'd rather stay quiet. You made it through, didn't you? That's not just a memory. It's proof you've got grit, a spark of strength that's still inside you. When a new challenge looms, say a family conflict or a project that's gone off the rails, call that moment to mind. Let it remind you, "I've handled hard things before, and I can handle this too." Picture yourself tackling the situation with calm and confidence, like a captain steering a ship through choppy waters. Then take one concrete step to make that vision real. Maybe it's researching a solution, reaching out for advice, or simply refusing to give up. Each action is like adding a layer to a shield, building a resilience that grows tougher with every challenge you face. Your Stoic journey. Starting today. We've covered a ton of ground together, haven't we? We've unpacked the raw power of your mind, that incredible force shaping every moment of your life. We've built your inner citadel, a mental fortress to keep you steady when the world gets wild. We've tackled adversity, learning to see obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger, and leaned into self-discipline, making choices that align with who you want to be. We've set our sights on a vision beyond circumstance, a North Star to guide us, and cultivated resilience to thrive through life's challenges. And we've rounded it out with practical habits, small, doable steps to weave Stoic wisdom into your everyday life. It's like a toolbox, brimming with everything you need to build a stronger, more meaningful life, one that feels grounded, purposeful, and true. But here's the catch. None of this works if you don't pick up the tools and start building. So, let's wrap this up with a call to action, a gentle nudge to take what you've learned and make it real, right here, right now. You don't need to flip your life upside down or morph into a Stoic master overnight. That's not the point. Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about taking small, intentional steps toward a life that reflects your values. Start right now, in this very moment, with something simple. Pick one habit from our Stoic toolkit and give it a try today. Maybe it's catching a negative thought when stress creeps in, when your mind says, "I can't do this." Pause and swap it for, "I'll take it one step at a time." Or maybe it's a small act of discipline, like skipping that extra episode of your favorite show to chip away at a project that matters to you. Or try leaning into gratitude. Before you go to bed, jot down one thing that made your day better, even if it's as small as a warm shower, a stranger's smile, or the smell of fresh coffee. These tiny steps are like seeds planted in fertile soil. Water them with consistency, and they'll grow into a life that feels more grounded, more yours. Here's a challenge to make it stick. For the next week, commit to one Stoic practice, something that resonates with you. Maybe it's 5 minutes of mindfulness each morning, sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, letting the day start with calm instead of chaos. Or maybe it's reflecting each evening on a challenge you faced, asking, "What did this teach me? How did I grow?" Whatever you choose, make it a promise to yourself, like a daily handshake with the person you're becoming. And here's the real talk. You will slip up. We all do. You might skip a day, get sucked into a spiral of worry, or react in a way you regret. That's not failure. That's being human. Stoicism's about dusting yourself off, resetting, and getting back to it. Each try, each moment you choose to keep going, strengthens you, like a tree sinking deeper roots into the earth, ready to stand tall through any storm. Let's dream a little. Picture yourself a month from now, having stuck with one Stoic habit, say, reframing challenges as opportunities. You're starting to notice a shift, subtle but real. When things go wrong, a missed deadline, a tense conversation, you're quicker to pause, to choose your response instead of letting emotions take the wheel. You feel steadier, like you're steering your ship through choppy waters instead of being tossed by the waves. Or maybe you've been practicing gratitude, and the world feels a bit brighter. You're catching the small joys that used to slip by, a good laugh with a friend, the way sunlight spills through your window, a quiet moment that feels like a gift. That's the Stoic way. Small changes, woven into your days, creating a life that's not just endured, but embraced. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Stoic wisdom. It's been like hiking a hidden trail together, one that winds through challenges and leads to a life where you are not just surviving, but thriving, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone toward something greater. If this sparked something in you, a flicker of curiosity, a hunger to grow, hit that subscribe button and stick around. We'll keep diving into ideas that shake up how we live, that push us to be our best selves, to craft lives of courage and meaning. The path to a stronger, more fulfilling life isn't some distant horizon. It's right here, waiting for you to take the first step, one thoughtful choice at a time. Until next time, keep mastering your mind, keep facing life's challenges with grit and heart, and I'll see you in the comments or the next video. Take care, and let's keep growing together.